So after a massive yawn that has probably left me looking like all watery-eyed and tired, I come to you again, thespians from the floor. Although a different floor this time, because I thought I should change it up, but keep it simple at the same time. So also, it would appear that I'm about to make 2 videos in 2 weeks, and that's good. That's a good record. Hopefully, I can maintain something like that for the at least remainder of the summer. Well, summer here, winter for most of you. Except Mark and I, who have summer. Except that Melbourne isn't really like summer right now, because it's cold and raining all the time, because Australia's Melbourne weather can't quite seem to decide on summer. So, Mark, I hope it's better in Adelaide, and we're getting, actual sun and niceness in our summer, because over here I seem to just be spending a lot of time getting wet and cold, which isn't great. So, moving on. The first thing I want to talk about was Sam. I'm very glad that you enjoyed the fucking exercise that I told you guys about last time. I'm a fan of it. I'm not sure how well it would work for any other texts or classic texts, but it should work pretty well for anything that works with verse or with the iams. So that's pretty great. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Moving on, I wanted to talk about the question that was asked for me, and that's all I'm really going to talk about today. So this video probably won't be that long. And so that question was, what's the weirdest thing I've ever had to buy for theatre? And I love this question because this is something that I've actually thought about a lot in terms of theatre, because of my relationship with local hardware stores, especially those that are close to the theatres that I work in. Because working in theatre, occasionally we do have to get some weird things, especially if you're working in a design or crew role. You suddenly have someone said to you, hey, I need this thing to make this show work, can you find a way for us to get it or to make it? And most of the time I follow the idea that either you source it, and if you can't source it, you make it, and then if you can't make it, you buy it. And then you buy it in the cheapest way possible. So I think the way I've always used to explain this is we call up our local Bunnings, which is a local hardware store, and we have to ask them for obscure things, and they get really confused. My favorite one was for when I did the Space show, I had to call them up and be like, hey, I need the silver ducting for an air conditioning unit, and I need to know if I can just get that and how much that would cost. And the person asked me, yeah, that's fine. What kind of model unit do you have? And I said, oh, no, I don't have a unit. And they were like, well, why do you just need the ducting? Oh, because I want to make robot arms. And that confused these people quite a bit. And I've had things like that all the time. Oh, I'm looking for broom handles. Oh, okay, what size broom handle do you want? Oh, I don't know, it needs to fit about 2 bolts of fabric. Why do you need to combine broom handles and fabric? Oh, I'm building a set that involves unloading fabric and wrapping it back up again, and I think broom handles will be a good anchor point. Okay. Just consistently, if you actually tell them what you're trying to do, they get really confused and they're not quite sure because you're using these items that they know for quite specifically certain purposes for something that they just weren't expecting to happen. And I love to see the reactions of people for that. Again, for the 12th night set, which was lots of fabric, I had to call up a blinds place to ask them if there was some way that I could just buy the inner working mechanisms of their blinds, the part that makes the blinds actually get retracted and pulled out again. And they were very confused. They literally could not help me. They had no idea what I was talking about. They're like, well, I think that that's a sales problem. And then sales were like, well, I think that that's a maintenance problem. And then maintenance were like, well, I think that that's a customer service problem. And then back to customer service, who were like, well, I think that that's a sales problem. And I just kind of went around and around in circles for a while. Because they didn't sell that outskirts thing. And I'm like, is there a way I could take your blinds and take them apart? And they're like, why would you want to do that? Because basically I got a call from sales saying, hey, so we're here to give you a free quote on your blinds for your house. How many windows do you have in your house? And I'm like, oh, no. I don't want the blinds on windows. Oh, you silly people. I don't want the actual product that you sell. I want to take your product and cannibalize it to make a theater set. So that's the thing that I love about asking for weird things for theatre. It's really fun to see the people who I'm asking them have reactions of, what is this guy talking about? So I'll see you all next week. Bye.